During the centuries of Muslim possession of the Holy Land, especially under the Ottoman Turks, the biblical land of Israel became a total desolation. The trees, irrigation canals, terraces, everything was destroyed and lifeless. The truth is, until the Jews renewed their claim to the land of Palestine, nobody else wanted it. But beginning in 1881, the Jews bought worthless, desolate land for exorbitant prices from the Turkish effendis. At the cost of many lives and horrific labor, they began to restore the ancient irrigation systems and terraces. Within 20 years, the land began to respond to them and bloom, just as Ezekiel chapter 36 predicted it would when they came. By 1913, the Jews became victims of their own success as migrant Muslim workers came for employment. Now, most of those who are now claiming to have lived for generations in the Holy Land were in fact those who came there seeking work from the Jews during the period from around 1900 to 1918. Arab revisionist historians say that claim is a myth, but history and mathematics tell a different story, if anybody were interested in the facts, that is. In 1948, there were about 735,000 Muslims and Christian Arabs in Palestine. There were about 716,000 Jews. Since the same land now supports a population of more than 12 million Arabs and Jews, the argument that the Arabs were crowded out by the Jews makes no sense. The Palestinian refugees languishing in refugee camps in Jordan, Lebanon, and elsewhere were not interned by Israel. They were interned by their own brothers' governments after those governments lost the war with Israel. Those who lived in Jordan's West Bank and Egypt's Gaza Strip became instant Palestinians on June 7, 1967, the day Israel won the Six-Day War. What makes this all so significant is that none of it is a secret. Knowing this, the world prefers the fictional account advanced by the Islamic world, and now by the Catholics and many of the liberal Protestant churches, that the Palestinians pre-existed the Jews, that the Jews stole Palestinian land, and then dispossessed its inhabitants and locked them away in refugee camps. The Bethlehem Call, which serves as a platform for the Christ at the Checkpoint Conference, defines Israel as an illegal regime and a crime against humanity. It promotes international boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaigns against Israel. It labels the more neutral churches as accomplices in crimes against humanity, and attacks Christian Zionism as a crime and a sin, as defying the core of the gospel. In 2008, the World Council of Churches convened a gathering of Protestant and Catholic theologians to review the underpinnings of Christian attitudes about Israel. The group published the Burn Perspective, which, among other things, instructed Christians to regard all biblical references to Israel as metaphors. Now, there's the root of the problem. Folks, this isn't replacement theology, in which the church replaces the Jews in God's covenant promises, so much as it's replacement Christianity. It takes the Christianity of the Bible and perverts it into some kind of social gospel more suited to Karl Marx than Jesus Christ. Replacement theology is as much a death sentence to the Jews today as it was in the days of the Crusades, or the Inquisition, or Adolf Hitler. It presents the image of Jews like Lucifer, who used to be God's chosen, but like him, they have been cast out for their evil ways and deserve to be obliterated from the Holy Land. It seeks to criminalize the Jews for their very existence. The promoters of the Bethlehem Conference are relying on replacement theology to justify a replacement Christianity, one that denies the sworn promises of God himself and offers instead a Marxist Jesus and a social gospel. But since they've been deluded into viewing everything metaphorically, I suppose it's not a stretch for them to convince themselves that it really is the truth they're saying. I challenge you to get a copy of this book and read it, because it will give you the documented history of what has really happened in the Middle East in the founding of the State of Israel and all things that led up to it.